Hey fam, it's me Aaron. This is a comic show. I got new comics now. I'm feeling great. Got a great stack of books, including Marvel's Inhuman. It's Inhuman #1. It's finally out. It's not by Fraction. He's not on it. Charles Soule's on it now. It's still Joe Mad, who you guys wanted on art. And Joe Mad, he's done a lot of video game stuff, a lot of video game design. He did all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, he was a big Marvel artist back in the day, back in like 90s, late 90s, and now he's back, and that's like the coolest thing about Inhumans is there are all these new characters. There's this Terrigen Mist, and there's this new character, including this guy from Chicago. His name is Dante. It's a little corny that his name is Dante and his code name's Inferno, so it's Dante's Inferno, but you know, that's okay. There's a lot of corniness in comics, but the character designs are awesome, and Charles Soule's writing it. Charles Soule, you guys know that I love the man. I think his work's great. I loved him, Superman, Wonder Woman, his She-Hulk's been awesome, and this book is cool. It is, yes, it's kind of like the Marvel movie answer to the mutants. That's what they're kind of playing up, but in the comic books do whatever they want to do. Like, for example, Guardians of the Galaxy is having Venom on their team. Why? Why is Venom on the team of the comic book Guardians of the Galaxy? Of course it makes sense because Venom is an alien symbiote, but the movies can't have Venom in it because Venom is co-owned, licensed by Sony. So Venom is not going to be in that movie. So the comics still kind of do what they want, and it's not really, I'm not really that cynical about it. I think this Inhumans is fun. I think it solves a problem of something fresh, something new in the Marvel Universe that builds on something old, and that we can have all different characters, a lot of diversity, characters from different nationalities, different cultures, different ethnic groups, different, actual different countries. They're not all have to be from America. But I know Mutants gave us that. I know Mutants did. And Giant Size X-Men is the best example of that. But this was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm into these new characters, and I'm into the Inhumans. I liked that one Marvel Knights Inhumans book. Other than that, I really haven't been that taken aback by all the royalty. Just things with kings and royalty just doesn't strike a chord with me as an American. We have presidents that are there for 4 or 8 years. But this was cool, and I like that there's different factions, there's different tribes of Inhumans. And yes, I know it's parallel to the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and the good mutant superhero X-Men, but still, it's something that works. Multiple tribes could be kind of Games of Thrones-ish, and I enjoyed the book, so great first issue. Moving on to Moon Knight, which was a great first issue, and an even better second issue. Warren Ellis is just awesome. These are single issue stories with a new take on the character, a slightly different twist that I'm still not going to spoil from the first issue. But when you had Mr. Knight in the first issue in that suit that was a kind of a private eye liaison to the police force that helped solve crimes and whatnot, that was cool. And I had some customers like, well, is he going to be in costume? Where's his costume? Why is he in this suit? It's kind of cool, but what's going on? That Mr. Knight is just another aspect of Moon Knight's crazy different aspects, as gods have different aspects, and that's just, you could say it's different personality disorders, but they kind of skewered that in the first issue. And this issue delivered with him in this awesome costume. The art's great, the story's fast-paced, lots of action, lots of violence. That vengeance violence of Moon Knight is there, and Warren Ellis was funny and fun, and single issue, one and done story that's building a new mythos at the same time. I loved it. Moving on to She-Hulk. She-Hulk versus Dr. Doom in a court of law. So Dr. Doom's son is there wanting asylum in America, and She-Hulk is representing him, and things go crazy with Doombots and Hellcat and all kinds of stuff. And I'm just super digging Charles Soule's She-Hulk. He is a lawyer. He's a practicing lawyer who also writes 7 comics a month. And I really love what he's doing here. It's fun, it's witty, it's authentic. It feels like She-Hulk, though she's always She-Hulk, she's not really Jennifer much, she's always a lawyer. She's not, now I'm a superhero, now I'm a lawyer. It seems like a better take on that, or a different take on that than Daredevil, where Matt Murdock's Matt Murdock and Daredevil's Daredevil. I'm enjoying it. I'm really liking what she's doing, and I like that the cases involve Marvel Universe stuff. As long as they still involve high-profile Marvel Universe stuff, like the first issue was her suing Tony Stark. This one is her with Doctor Doom. That's fun. That's cool. That is relevant. And he needs to keep doing that because I am loving it. And the art is a great fit. And the cover art is awesome. Moving on to Magneto. Though Magneto has always been more or less evil to us, yes, he's gone back and forth with like, oh, I'm going to hang out with the X-Men and kind of be good, kind of be an anti-hero, kind of be whatever, Punisherist, whatnot, but he's been a villain. This has some of that great Magneto stuff with the flashbacks to Warsaw, where he's just a little boy, little Jewish boy being, you know, hunted and hurt and disenfranchised, and that builds something in him where why would he believe Professor X's dream that humanity and mutants can coexist when humanity can't even coexist with humanity in his personal first-hand experience? So, as we're building that, yes, he was never a science chemistry teacher, but you will get a strong Walter White vibe from this. When, you know, he's just wearing the plain clothes, he has the shaved head, which he's had, and he's doing these things outside, totally outside the law, that need to be done to protect his family of mutants. And I liked it. Colin Bunn I like the second issue better than the first issue. The first issue was kind of all set up, and this issue, the tone set, and I enjoyed it. And I did get that Breaking Bad vibe. But, you know, one could argue Magneto's been broke bad a long time ago. But I liked it. So if you like the first issue, you will definitely like the second issue because it is better in my opinion. Punisher has been great the whole time. Nathan Edmondson's carving out his own corner of the all-new Marvel Now universe with Black Widow and Punisher both being huge hits with characters that really haven't had big books in a while. Punisher had his Max stuff, and Rucka was doing good stuff, and then it was just kind of just not there, and just nothing. And Edmondson is great. Noto's not on this issue. It's a fill-in, but it still worked. And no, I mean, Noto's still on this issue of Black Widow. It's brilliant. I love Noto's work. I'm still waiting. I know that they were so far ahead on it because I've talked to them at cons. I go to con after con. I don't know. The store pays for me to go to cons. I go to cons. I talk to Nathan Edmondson. I talk to Phil Noto. I talk to whoever will talk to me. And Nathan had been working on this Punisher Black Widow stuff for a long time to really launch his kind of brand of espionage action Marvel Universe corner, and he's really killing it on that, and I'm enjoying it. I'll accept a different artist than Noto because I know he can't do monthly for the long haul, and I know he had a big head start on it, but you know, I'm loving it while I'm getting it, so give it a shot. If you were curious about either Black Widow or Punisher, there's second prints, third prints, whatever out. Give it a shot. It's here. Just grab the first issue and check it out. You probably won't be disappointed if you care about those characters at all. I didn't really have any strong affinity to those characters. I like Edmondson as a writer. I like Noto's art, and I've enjoyed it a lot. Deadpool vs. Carnage. This is Cullen Bunn, his little Deadpool stuff where he's doing these kind of like evergreen Deadpool miniseries like he did Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, Deadpool Illustrated, Deadpool vs. Deadpool. Deadpool vs. Carnage, they never really ever met or spoke to each other or fought before, yet there are two characters that kind of have similar fan bases, kind of have similar personalities, and seeing them together in this issue was awesome. If you want, you can get that Superior Carnage annual that Better Stores reordered some because they were available, so it is Bunn, and it puts Carnage back to the status quo that he is here, so you have the Cletus Carnage in all his glory fighting Waid in all his glory, and it is glorious. It's right in the face, and it delivers exactly what you want if you are a Deadpool or a Carnage fan. If you want to see them together, it is awesome. If you are not into crazy random violence and dark humor and all that, don't get it, but it was a lot of fun. Moving on to Guardians of the Galaxy Prelude, this is pretty much Abbott and Lanning's last work together. They had a falling out, as I read on Bleeding Cool, but not just speculative stuff. It was like actual like quotes from them on Bleeding Cool, and it's nice that Marvel got them to do this prelude because the team of Guardians of the Galaxy that is the movie is not the classic Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. The classic Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy is that futuristic stuff that is none of these characters. These guys, Abbott and Lanning, made this team, made this concept. Just used the name Guardians of the Galaxy and made it awesome with Rocket Raccoon and Groot and all that. And this is a fun little prelude. I usually don't go like, oh, get excited about the movie tie-ins to Marvel Comics. But I'm so excited about the Guardians movie, and it's kind of Abbott and Lanning swan song together, the old DNA, and Thanos was in it in a flashback, so, you know, pick it up, check it out, at least flip through it in the store. And this is kind of cool. Look at these covers together. It makes like the Spider-Mans. It's the Ultimate Comic Spider-Man 200. I didn't add up the issues to make sure that it's 200 if they never kind of relaunched it or whatnot, but they have a cover gallery here where they sort of prove it, I guess, with counting the Spider-Man Requiem 2-issue mini, all the relaunch series, and the Cataclysm Spider-Man. And it's a very nice end cap to all that was. And as you know, we're going to get a new like Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man, kind of like Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man, very soon, and I'm excited about that. And finally, no, I didn't have a chance to read this entire original graphic novel in the hour that I had before I shot this video, because, you know, this wasn't all available online in a PDF for me to read ahead of time like the other Marvels, but I read some of it. I read Dan Slott's intro, which he really gives a lot of praise, and I looked through the whole thing. I spoiled some stuff for me. This art is so beautiful. It's Gabriel Dell'Otto, who has that kind of painted artwork that I've loved on so many things that he's done for Marvel, but the biggest drawback to him is it's not monthly. There's just how many months in between issues are we waiting, and this is an original one-and-done hardcover. It's an OGN, original graphic novel. It's 25 bucks, but it's awesome. It delivers. It's Mark Waid and James Robinson, two writers that I love and I know you love from things. If you're reading Daredevil, if you read any of Mark Waid's stuff like Kingdom Come or his Flash run or James Robinson's Starman run, and it has a new wrinkle in the whole Spider-Man mythos. Peter Parker apparently has a sister, kind of like Luke Skywalker has a sister. So he has a family, you know, because that was his aunt and uncle. You know, he has a mom and dad. So did he have a sister? Maybe. And Kingpin's in it, and Parker's being, Spider-Man's being targeted, and is his sister friend or foe, helpful or hurtful? You'll see if you read it, and that's coming home with me tonight, and I'm going to enjoy the heck out of it. And Dan Slott said, this plays with all of the actual nuts and bolts of Spider-Man, great power, great responsibility, keeps it fresh, and puts a new twist on it, a new character with a new twist to make it fresh and to make it something that you will not just read, but want to reread. And that's the best thing an original graphic novel hardcover can be, because you don't want to just spend $25 to read it once. And it is beautiful inside. Speaking of beautiful art, here's the new Detective Comics. It's the team from Flash, the New 52 Flash relaunch. You have the Manipul and Dell'Otto. Yeah, I've met these guys, and, you know, I use their first names, and when I meet them, you know, Brian and Francis is a lot easier to pronounce, but I met them, I think one in Phoenix, one in New York Comic Con or San Diego, but what they do when they come on something is they make it new, they make it fresh, they have a look that, you know, where does the writing and the art overlap? They both work together, and they make this seamless team, kind of like, just, I don't know, man. It's good stuff. It's something that Batman needed. It's something that just this fresh art take that I just love their team. I just love it. He introduces a new character. He introduces a new concept. It's detective, so there's this mystery that Bruce has to solve as both Bruce and Batman. And that's one of my favorite things, is when Bruce has to use his connections as Bruce Wayne to solve the mysteries, which Paul Dini did a lot in his detective run. And there's already parts of that in here, and I'm liking it. I like that focus on detective where you get a lot more Bruce and you got a lot more detective work. And, you know, leave all the bigger scope stories to, you know, Scott Snyder over there in the main Batman book. But this is beautiful. It was a fun first issue. I'm on board. Aquaman and the Others, it's Dan Jurgens on writing. I'm not the biggest Dan Jurgens fan. I love that he created Booster Gold, one of my favorite characters. But the cool thing about this Aquaman and the Others is that it is a tie-in, a lead-in, something on the side that, and there's something in this issue that actually explicitly says that Future's End, that big weekly thing that you'll get the 0 issue free on Free Comic Book Day, this is tying in. Maybe the others are there trying to prevent it. I don't know. I'm speculating. I'm not spoiling it. there are things with Futures End in here. I don't know how it's tying in or how it's going to relate, but that has me. That kind of has me. Where you have the others, of course that harkens back in my mind to Lost and the others and the tailies and all that stuff. So you have these others, and what's the mission of the others? And what are they there? What's their purpose? What are they doing? And the others is this mysterious team that is doing something mysterious that involves Futures End. So that's a cool hook. Let's just see if Dan Jurgens can execute in a way that I enjoy. So, you know, give it a shot. And of course there's a big win when Aquaman has 2 monthly books. That's just crazy. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of comics. So anyway, and finally, Greg Pak has been killing it with Aaron Kuder on Action Comics. And this issue is a prelude to Doom, Superman Doomed, where you have Doomsday. Not my favorite character, but I did like Greg Pak on Doomsday for that Villains one-shot. And the next issue part of it is Superman Wonder Woman, which is Charles Soule, and I like Doomsday teased in that, and it's cool. Action is pretty good with Greg Pak. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm eager for Jeff Johns to take over Superman, but Action has kind of been a sleeper, kind of like a quiet refuge for Superman fans to go to if they discover that, hey, it's safe to get back in the water. Sure, there was a time where Grant Morrison left and you know, Greg Pak wasn't on yet, but it's safe, you know, get back in there. Starlight by Mark Millar. Yes, the first issue was a lot of Flash Gordon type stuff. I'm not a Flash Gordon fan. I'm 37. I'm not old enough to really be into old Flash Gordon stuff. Never really sought it out. Was always into The Flash. But I like stories where it's like an old guy, a has-been. Does he still have what it takes, you know? Like, he's not as good as he once was, you know, but what's going to happen now? Will he be able to reclaim his glory? Will he be able to save the day at this point? And Mark Millar did a really good job with that. And the art is really cool, reminiscent of a lot of stuff that I read in Humanoids comics. And I really enjoyed it. It is unlike much all of Mark Millar's stuff, but you still feel his voice in it. And it's very much more of a heady type of character piece so far. I mean, yeah, we're only 2 issues in, and I'm reading into it a lot, but that's my job, to speculate. And, you know, get excited about it as a fan, too. But it's not Nemesis. It is not Kick-Ass. If you thought that Mark Millar just goes to these excesses and does all this weird stuff since, you know, he left Authority, well, this is back more to that kind of character, really intense, almost philosophical Mark Millar. And I enjoyed it. Black Science 5, Rick Remender. You guys know how much I love Rick Remender. Also, his Fear Agent is back in print. That volume 1's out. Fear Agent is sci-fi for people who hate math. And two-fisted pulp sci-fi. Love it. Black Science is also kind of two-fisted pulp sci-fi. And I've been really enjoying this issue, this book. Can't wait to sell the trade. The final issue of Trillium's out. No, I'm not going to spoil anything about it. But it's selling even better issue for issue at my store. Quality always rises to the top. It's innovative. There's still stuff where you're flipping the comic around and around as you're getting kind of Vertigo, reading a Vertigo comic. You know, surprised I didn't use that in any of the other 7 issues, as corny as I am. But this is a great romantic comedy, action, sci-fi that would make a brilliant movie. And finally, Hinterkind. It's out in the first collection for $10, and Vertigo is doing really well with this. I like that they're launching new things. I like that they're putting out the first volumes for $10, and it's basically humanity doesn't get a happily ever after. There's all this post-apocalyptic stuff and all this like speculative dystopian future stuff that we're coming towards a singularity where humanity is not going to be the dominant life form anymore. Whether it's going to be technology or whatnot's going to overtake us, who's to say? Well, Hinterkind says that the fairy tale stuff that's, you know, not the fairy tale protagonist characters like Fables, but orcs and trolls and crazy stuff like Lord of the Rings type fantasy, heavy fantasy stuff is taking over, takes over our civilization and hunts us and kills us, and that's what this book is. And it's cool because most speculative fiction, post-apocalyptic stuff is technological, and this is the antithesis of that. So good on you, Vertigo. And if any of that excites you and you have a $10 bill, volume 1 is yours. So come and check it out. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, interact, share, all that good stuff. And if you're local, the Geek Easy has Geek Trivia on Tuesday, where you can be in a team and the winning team gets their bar tab comped. On Thursday, we're doing the Captain America movie premiere for Winter Soldier, but we're doing it Geek Easy style, where you come in here at 6, we watch the original Cap movie while we drink, then we get on a bus, because we're going to be drunk, or at least some of us. We get on a bus, we go to the movie theater, we have reserved seating, then we get back on the bus, come back here, and recap about the movie, have a nightcap, drink some more, sober up, and then go home. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to do this with all the movies, because this was the missing link to my big enjoyment of movies together with my friends. And then Friday, as always, is Nerdy Karaoke. Saturday is Play It Loud, where we're going to have chip tunes and a lot of fun stuff. And then Sunday, Game of Thrones starts. So in here, at night, live Game of Thrones. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.